Hey everybody, I'm outside Fort Sill, Oklahoma at the Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center to learn about the Lord of the Plains. The Comanche are one of the most influential and feared tribes in the history of Texas, yet they didn't migrate into the area until the early 18th century. Before coming to Texas, the Comanche lived on the outskirts of the Great Plains in Wyoming and Colorado. They referred to themselves as the Numina, which means the people in the Comanche language, yet they themselves were never united as a single tribe. Instead, they were divided into as many as 13 unique bands. Culturally, they were simple hunters and gatherers, living off small game and traveling with their portable teepees pulled by dog travois. The fortunes of the Comanche would change forever when the Spanish introduced the horse to the plains. By the year 1700, every plains tribe had the horse, yet it was the Comanche who would master it. The horse greatly increased the Comanche's mobility and allowed them to move on to the Great Plains full-time and hunt the American bison, also known as the buffalo. They quickly migrated into the warmer southern plains, following the massive buffalo herds and bringing them into conflict with other southern plains tribes, including the Apache and the Wichita. The Comanche mastered the skill of breeding their horse herds, and it was not uncommon for a band of Comanches to have a herd of well over 1,000 or more horses. But more importantly, they learned how to use the horse in combat. In only a few years, the Comanche became the greatest cavalrymen and most feared warriors of the Great Plains. Fighting on horseback, the Comanche used weapons like the bow and arrow and lances as long as 14 feet. Comanche boys learned to ride a horse by age 5. And by the time they reach adulthood, were deadly warriors. Comanches were relentless raiders, terrorizing other tribes and raiding as far south as central Mexico. By the beginning of the 19th century, they controlled a huge swath of land known as Comancheria, covering parts of modern-day Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Colorado, and Kansas. Even though their population was small by today's standards, probably no more than 10 to 15,000 people, they were truly the Lord of the Plains. Today, the Comanche Nation is located outside of Fort Sill in Lawton, Oklahoma, and has over 17,000 members, with about 7,000 living near Lawton. The Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center has a small museum that provides visitors with programs and exhibits that cover Comanche history, culture, and art. Next door is the Museum of the Great Plains. This museum also highlights the history and culture of the Comanche and other indigenous tribes who called the Plains their home. The museum also features the modern American settlement of the Oklahoma Plains, highlighting farming equipment, technology, and homesteading techniques. So come to the Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center and the Museum of the Great Plains. It's one of the best places in America.